Sanyou Campaign has got to be one of the best arcs in all of Kingdom. While some might also view it as one of the best, others much prefer the Coalition or Western Shao Invasion arc. If nothing else, the Sanyou Campaign is just as good as these other arcs, and following the Battle of Bio arc, it does a fantastic job building upon that to be even better. From storytelling and pacing, to characters to themes, this arc really showed Hara coming into his own. Starting with the storytelling, this arc had one of the most iconic fights in this series, that is, the final duel between Shin and Rinko. The tension and gravity of this fight could be felt, with each side knowing victory toward either Chin or waylaid with this duel in the midst of the central army. I'm sure, like everyone, I kept reading and reading with anticipation on what would happen next. This feeling amplified with every blow, with every clash of Shin and Rinko's resolve. The thing that made this fight truly great was the fact that Rinko was a man that Shin has encountered on multiple occasions throughout the arc. He was no longer simply a general's head for Shin to take. Rather, Shin developed a relationship with him, growing with every heated encounter. Though the relationship started with animosity, this began to turn into mutual respect for each other, which ultimately made this phenomenal fight bittersweet, with even Shin feeling the same way, especially when he refused to take Rinko's head, despite his comrades urging him to. Moving on with characters, this arc did wonders for introducing some great new characters, starting with the main antagonist, not necessarily for the arc, but mainly for Shin, Rinko. The greatest thing about Rinko was his role in challenging the philosophy and mindset of Shin, who believes he can control the direction of his life fully, that everything happens through his own means alone. This is where Rinko comes in, with his relationship with Renpa, and his main philosophy about fate, and life being a place where one's journey is determined by destiny, and whether they are favored by the heavens. All in all, throughout the arc, he went from being an unstoppable force of a general, who was bested by Shin, the immovable object, into a respected opponent. Now for the actual main antagonist of the arc, Renpa, of the former Three Great Heavens of Shao, Oki's rival. Dear Lord, this man was a treat to watch. This was the first time we were introduced to a true hybrid type general, from the way he conducted warfare to even the way he treated his allies. Awesome. I mean, he treated his heavenly kings like family, doing his signature back-breaking hug before battle. That aside, his role in the story was interesting. Someone that is extremely difficult to best, but is almost misplaced in this era. Yearning for an age that has already passed, along with the death of his former allies and enemies alike. In terms of themes, Renpa and Mogo really drove the concept of the passing of time. This actually began all the way back when Oki first passed, and even he realized that the best in one era would always get defeated by the next best, where now Renpa's time has passed. Not only is it Shin's time to prove himself, but there are also great general level commanders on the rise in the form of Osin and Kanki, who before now were nothing more than vice generals. Another theme was explored in the form of Shin versus Rinko, that is, one's free will versus fate. It is true that the answer is still up in the air, but with the conclusion of Shin's duel with Rinko, naturally this continues to build and prove Shin's answer that one can determine their own path, even then. Renpa, arguably the greatest general there is right now, says that one must be favored by the heavens, or in other words, have the luck of 100 great generals combined, to even think about what Shin desires, to be the greatest general under the heavens.